So what mistakes did you make? You personally?
Yeah.
Not the
personally,
production?
No, personally, again, I think I'll start with the business plan. I've got a very good kind of friend who's a bit of an entrepreneur, and he looked at my business plan that I had created. I mean, there was a business plan created later by more experienced people in production, but the business plan I created, I mean, he looked at it, he flipped through within 30 seconds and went, where are the figures? Yeah. Okay, you've got this actor attached, you've got that actor attached, you've got this DP, but I need to know as an investor that I'm going to get my money back. So that was definitely a mistake early on, not getting a sales agent on board. We've got sales agents obviously now, but I'd say at the beginning, get a sales agent on board and, do the correct prep. Also, because of the scale of the film, I was doing a lot of different roles in the film, and I think, try and specialise. So, I was doing like 4 different kinds of roles in the production. So I think, don't be jack of all trades. Try and focus on maybe 2 things, 2 elements. So I'd probably say that. The biggest mistake I made personally was not having a clearly defined business plan from the very beginning.
But I think that's quite common with creative people, because you end up selling all the sizzle.
Yeah,
you don't quite have the substance below it, and you're I've been in those meetings as well, where they flick through and they go, I'm looking at pretty pictures, where's the numbers? And you're like, well, I can't give you the numbers because it's a bit shocking, really.
Yeah, I know. I think that's probably the biggest mistake. And also the market strategy. I mean, that's something I didn't even think about, how to market a film. So, we brought on board, obviously we've got a good distribution company, we've also got a PR company working with us as well. But that's something that came later on. I think you have to build that into your project. Even if you're doing a short film, you've got, £50 to market the film. Start thinking through the press releases. Start thinking through the things that you can do, on a very small scale. And there's things like Facebook, there's things like YouTube. There's a lot that you can do without money as well. And I think that's very important to think about that at the very beginning.
Right. So my final question, which I ask everyone, what advice would you offer a new filmmaker?
I would say, there's a couple of things I'd say find a mentor. I mean, I mentioned Stephen Follows is basically my mentor. Poor guy that he is. I mean, you need someone that you can call up basically every day if need be and get advice from. I would say sit down and work out the goals. What are your goals for the project? I mean, I've done other projects where I didn't know the goals and, they were a mess. So work out what your goals are. Even if that's, I want to make something really creative. I don't care about it selling. I want to make it on my own money. That's fine as well. But sit down, work out what you want for the film. And I'd say the final thing, actually, which I think is, to be honest, one of the most important things, is make sure you surround yourself with a few supportive people, because it is a roller coaster ride. You have your highs and you have your lows, and you need people who will say, don't worry, it's okay, and will support what you're doing. So make sure you've got caring people that you can turn to as well.
Fantastic. So let's ask Pete, have you got any questions from the chat room?
Yeah, we do. Okay, Ollie Dunn asks, how did you manage to raise the financing?
Yeah, the financing came through private investors, and we first, I'll be honest, we first had a business plan that was not very slick, so we reworked the business plan, we just had to sit down with a lot of people, to be honest, and pitch the film. At that point we had like a very good composer, a very good team of people attached, and we showed them their work, and we basically did different pitchings, like 2-hour pitches that we had created with a business plan, with a bit of sizzle, and with the people we had attached and their work, and then we just got the shit answer, how much can we sign you up for, which can be quite uncomfortable, but yeah, we basically created a pitch, I'd say.
Right, okay. Any other questions?
Yep. Adam Daniel Mazzei asks, from your acting experience, was it easier to produce, given how what parts of a film, what parts of a script are not filmable?
Sorry, say again. So is it?
Yeah, given your acting experience, was it easier for you to produce, given that what parts of a script are not filmable?
Yeah, I think having the acting background definitely has some benefits in that you've kind of been in front of the camera. Actually that part of the script isn't going to work. It's not going to be in the edit. But, you know, I have to say, acting and producing is so different, you know, and producing is, I think, probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Did you do a full kind of rehearsal before it and work through the script, or?
Yeah, there was a couple of things we did. We actually got you know, we got feedback from a lot of people. Like people like Jamie Thorne, for example. I mean, he sat down with us for about 2 days and went through the script and said, that wouldn't happen, this wouldn't happen. And yeah, we didn't do a full read through as such, but we had a lot of feedback.
Right. And did you actually remove stuff before going to set?
Yeah.
And can you imagine what it'd been like, you know, squeezing your production to accommodate all that extra stuff, which then would have gone on the cutting room floor?
Yeah, I mean, there's always to be honest, you know, you've got like 40 hours worth of material. There's always going to be a lot on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
But just going through that process helps you be really ruthless and say, look, everyone's saying, and the thing that was great with Baseline is everybody was saying the same positive and negative things when they first saw the script, which meant we knew that we got some things right and some things wrong. So then the things that were saying that weren't working, we just got rid of or developed further.
Right. Okay, final question. Do we have a final question?
Yeah, there is a final question. Also, we have a casting director in the chat room who thinks she'd be great for a film she's casting. She wants your details.
Fantastic.
So we can pass that on if you wish to give them.
We have extremely good viewers on this show. Is Spielberg tuning in?
It's Spielberg, actually.
I like that.
And finally, Ollie Dunn asks, what tips can you give on a good film business plan?
I would say always start with, you know, what I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, if you're making an art house film, you kind of have to think outside the box. But if it's a genre picture, you want to look, a lot of sales agents will meet with upcoming directors, and you know, there are smaller sales agents that will attach themselves to a project if they think it's a good concept. So I'd say try and get a sales agent on board early, at the very beginning, and get some sales estimates, because then you've got something really solid. A lot of people go, my film's going to be like, you know, layer cake, and it's just, you can't compare, you know, a small project to a £5 million project made by one of the producers of Lock, Stock. So I'd say be realistic and get a sales agent attached at the very beginning.
Right, of course. And just when you're pitching a project,
yeah,
it's so much easier, isn't it, when you can say, oh, there's this established sales agent that's been running for 15 years.
Exactly.
And they like it enough to get on board and want to sell it.
I totally agree.
Even if, you know, they're taking a big slice, or, you know, if they have... There are problems and clauses in the contract. You're like, ooh, okay. But at least you don't go into that meeting saying, I don't know how we're going to sell it, but still give me, you know, £1 million or whatever.
People with money are ruthless.
Yeah.
Let's be completely. If you are independently wealthy, or if you're a business person, you don't care about any of the gloss. You want to know, will I see my money back? And, you know, you saying I can do it, because no, they need proof. They need someone who's sold films before, who has a reputation, who will basically give some basic, you know, minimum guarantees. You know?
Right. Right, fantastic. Well, thank you, Freddie, for sharing with us about Baseline. Remind us again, when is it playing and when is it coming out on DVD?
It's going to be in cinemas across London tomorrow for just over a week, and it's going to be on Blu-ray and DVD basically everywhere throughout the UK on the 12th of July.
And does it have the same title around the world? Because sometimes movies get retitled.
Yeah, it's sold to 3 territories so far, and yeah, it's Baseline everywhere.
Right,
so, yeah.
Fantastic.